I think we go time here. Next on in our agenda is the time we call public comment. We have one person that has signed. We'll let him go first. What I'm saying is after that, then I'll ask if there's anyone else here that would like to address the board after. But Mr. DeVille, topic, people in Raleigh.
People in Raleigh.
Mark.
My topic was meeting people in Raleigh. Mr. Chairman, Dr. Baldwin, members of the board, I'm coming to you tonight. Gotten some phone calls the past few weeks, some anxious emails. My guess is you all probably have too, concerning budget contractions in Raleigh and how that plays out here in Macon County. Specifically, I had emails and calls about media specialist positions. I met with Dr. Baldwin this afternoon. He's very gracious with his time, and we went over the financial reality of what we're facing here in Macon County as far as the budget contractions, how they play out. And I think it's important for my fellow teachers and my fellow Macon County citizens to put blame in the right place. If we're going to fix the problem, we need to diagnose exactly what the problem is and direct our limited energy, our limited resources towards addressing that problem, and not put blame in the wrong place and fight amongst ourselves when we should be directing our energies elsewhere. Just a few things I want to touch on. The proposed adjusted personnel roster that you're looking at this evening, Dr. Baldwin shared with me this afternoon, has got several cuts in it. Just to quickly review so the public is informed of what we're facing here. And I would put an asterisk on this. This is in addition to everything that we have lost in terms of personnel in the last several years. And I don't have those numbers in front of me, but I know that they're substantial. So these are additional positions that we're absorbing here in Macon County. 2 positions at East Franklin that probably won't be replaced. 2 positions at Franklin High School, including a language teacher. I saw students a week before I took off on vacation coming back over to the high school. They'd signed up for Spanish 3 and 4. Their only other alternative was to take that course on North Carolina Virtual Public School. They decided that that was a poor educational option for them. Imagine trying to learn a foreign language online. Learning anything online is difficult, especially when you're young, and then you're going to make that a foreign language, so they were changing their schedule on that. We also lost an English teacher there. Highland School is losing, it looks like, maybe 1 position overall. Iowa Valley, a position. There's not many people left over here at the central office, it looks like. It looks like 9 people, 9 positions, with 4 of those, 9 people leaving, and 4 of those people being replaced by contract services. So that's a tremendous cut right here in this building alone. 2.5 positions, it looks like, at Macon Middle. Another position at Mountain View. And it looks like 1.5 positions at Nantahala, and a school that small. I can't imagine just what 1.5, and again, in addition to everything that all the schools have had to deal with in the past 3 or 4 years. Roster, no one would be sent home. Okay, now that's notwithstanding whatever is finally decided in the budget deal, which is still, the details as of 5 o'clock tonight have not been made public. If you look at the House numbers, there's an additional $137 million in discretionary cuts. If you look at the Senate version, $175 million. So if they meet somewhere in the middle, whatever else that we have to deal with, there's an additional $150 million, and that's people. So maybe 4 more positions that somehow we would have to absorb here in Macon County. This current roster, again, it protects jobs, it protects the classroom. At the moment, it protects the 2% supplement. I know that the county commissioners see that money, that $750,000 discretionary, that we could, if we chose to, if this board, Dr. Baldwin chose to, they could use those monies to employ to fill in personnel gaps. Yeah.
It's actually 430.
It's 430, okay, I thought it was in the neighborhood of 750, sorry. Thank you for that correction, thank you, thank you. So, again, we see that money as discretionary again. The teachers in Macon County who fought, you know, to get that, and who have relied upon that, we don't see that as discretionary. The impact with these contractions is more burnout, more people leaving us, more turnover. Can we make up the gap? Can teachers work a little bit harder? I think they can. Gary Brown's letter, I thought, was one of the most eloquent, concise statements as the state of education is in Macon County, and we have done more with less. The statistic I can give the media and other people in the room tonight, the Annie Casey Foundation, which is a well-respected think tank, recently ranked North Carolina as 28th in the nation in public education. That's on a 48th or 49th in the country per pupil spending. So that's a heck of a bargain. And that is dealing with here in North Carolina an 8% increase in poverty over the past 4 to 5 years. So I think it's important for us as a school community to stay united, to put the blame where it's due. The General Assembly had talked the last several years about merit pay. They do not have the money to do merit pay properly. But what we are dealing with, I would argue, is that we are dealing with a reverse merit pay situation. In other words, Raleigh has put the gun to the various LEA's heads, to the various state boards heads, to the central office's head, and basically say, you have X number of positions, which 10 people do you want to fire? Since we're not going to give extra pay to the top 10%, the top 20%, whatever, we want you just to eliminate your bottom 5%, your bottom 10%, which is a cruel business, but that appears to be the business that Raleigh is into. The tax cuts, which were originally projected to create a budget shortfall this year of $500 million. If you saw in the paper last Friday, that number is now at $700 million. And that's not including the tax cuts that just went into effect for this coming fiscal year. So we're going to look at an even bigger budget hole. If we think that we're in bad shape for 2014, 2015, nobody in this room has seen anything yet. Because the situation, when we start to go to put the budget together this coming March, April, May, is going to be far more dire than what we're dealing with right now. And so I'll close with thanking Dr. Baldwin for his time and all of his work, and thanking this board for all of your time in protecting our jobs, protecting the classroom as best you can, protecting our supplement as best you can, making the tough choices, prioritizing expenditures the way that you have. And I would like, again, just from this platform, to urge my fellow teachers and the other citizens of Macon County, if you're upset, let's not get upset with the people who work in this room, because I think they're doing a hell of a job, and I don't think that they can be doing it any better. If you're going to get upset, we need to be getting upset with people that are about 500 miles or so west of here. So I ask that we stay united. I'm sorry. You know, I only haven't talked about this in a while, but been on a north-south axis here, and I'm still getting over it on my trip. So I'll leave it at that. And again, thank you all very much for what you have done. Thank you. Thank you.
When we start discussing personnel, I've got a statement that fits in pretty well with what Mr. Bill said. But I appreciate your comments, Mr. Bill.
Thank you.
Very counted foot in terms of where it's coming from. At this time, Mr. Bill was the only one that put on. Is there anyone else here that would like to address the board on anything that you might have that you'd like to talk to us about? Okay, we'll move on. Again, thank you, Mr. DeVille.
Thank you.